Going live here. Single ladies. Hi, Kim. I'm excited. I hope you're ready. I'm going to do a little brief introduction and then I will bring you in. I see your request. That is perfect. So, for our audience, we are going to give you just a little bit longer to get ready for this amazing chat with me and my girl. Hi, Dr. Yabo. We are getting ready for some awesome dialogue. Two fabulous, sexy, brilliant, ambitious, driven women who happen to be single. My name is Teresa Bristol. I happen to be a doctor of physical therapy, and I am hosting a chat which I think will be very beneficial for those who are single, those who may be in a space of trying to figure out if they should be single, just trying to find a place of being happy, content, satisfied, and still prosperous in the midst of being single. Thank you so much, Dr. Yabo. So my girlfriend, Kim, she and I have been friends, I think, since we were in high school, I think is when we initially just really clicked, and we go way back. So I'm 48, we in that almost 50 category, so we know a lot about each other, and we have been through marriage, divorce, friendships, all kinds of great things together, and not so great things at the same time. But through it all, we have endured. We have continued to be the women that we are, but we went through a lot, and we want to share some of that with you all. So hopefully that we can, for those who are younger than us, I think if I had had someone to talk to me as a younger myself, to share their journey, to share some of the pitfalls, especially understanding men and relationships and warning signs and when you should take a detour. If I would have had more of that role model that was present in my ear, that I trusted and believed in, and that I could listen to and get advice from, I just feel like my life would have been a lot different. So I'm hoping that this will inspire some of our younger friends, even some that may be our age, may be dealing with something that they shouldn't be dealing with. So we hope this tea that we spill today will be beneficial in more ways than one as we approach that love special day, Valentine's Day. So a little bit more about myself before I bring on my gorgeous friend. I am a physical therapist by profession. I own my own private practice here in the greater Atlanta area, where I employ occupational therapy, physical therapy, and I have just a small team of administration to support the efforts of my business. So I'm in the process of expanding and adding on another business entity, which will include business coaching as well as training for those who are interested in developing their own businesses. So us ladies, we can be strong, we can be prosperous, we can be boss ladies, we can be all of that. As my lost some connectivity there. My friend who is joining us, she is also a boss babe and doing some very great things, as a single woman now, recently divorced. So I will not prolong the time. I'm going to go ahead and bring you in, Kim. Are you ready? All right. I think so. I see your request. I'm going to go ahead and bring you in. And here we go. Okay. Kim is connecting. There's my girl.
Yeah, you try to fix this a little bit. Yeah.
Hi, Kim.
Hey,
How
Teresa.
are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm happy to be here. Talk to my girl.
I am so excited. I'm thrilled that you were able to come and you accepted my invitation graciously. I did explain a little bit about our relationship, and just a little bit of information about your extensive background. I want to shed a little bit light on you. Of course, this is my girl. We have been buddies since high school, getting into all kind of stuff. We're going to talk about that tea just a little bit.
We can't tell our deep,
Oh,
dark secret.
my goodness.
Okay, we got to put a limit on this. Okay, we can only talk about the last 5 years.
Okay, so if I give you that look, okay. You got to give me your look so I know where that, okay, that's the boundary. That's that boundary. We don't want to step over the boundaries. Yes, so Kim is a mother of 3 beautiful, successful, ambitious children. We have, they're all in college now. Professional football players, got full ride scholarships. We have a soon-to-be engineer, double major, and engineer and math major. And then we have one that's pursuing a nursing degree, correct?
Right.
2 boys and 1 girl. Yes.
Yes.
And so, I mean, that's 3 of her many accomplishments. Of course, she raised very well-mannered, successful, ambitious, driven children. And I know that in itself, I mean, you take off my hat. I mean, put your crown on, put your jewels on, your red bottoms, all of that. You deserve all of that, right? Right. Plus, on top of that, you are an inspiring actress. You're doing your thing all over. I see you everywhere. You're in all kinds of films and doing your thing. You know, I know that had to be hard trying to raise kids and trying to pursue your own profession and be that wife that you were for all those years to your now ex-husband. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about your journey to raising your children and becoming, you know, the mother and the wife, and then ultimately becoming who you are. So tell me, if you want to go ahead and add a little bit about your professional background or other parts of your personal background that I didn't put into the mix already.
Well, you actually covered a lot of it, Teresa. I was a soldier. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna start from right here, Teresa. Teresa and I were supposed to go in the military together.
Right.
What was it called? A buddy plan?
Right.
Yeah, we were supposed to go in the military together. Teresa did not weigh enough. I was like, really? Go eat a bunch of bananas or something. Come on, girl.
98 pounds, I think it was. Yeah. Crazy, right?
Yes, it's crazy. So I was like, okay, but we ended up still going to the military. Actually, I think the military was a great stepping stone for the both of us. It taught us a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that neither one of us would be where we are today without it. So I can't knock it. It.
Yeah.
When I was in the military, you know, I'm just say this. I've always been an entertainer. Let's just start from there. I didn't realize it, but growing up, being in all these little pageants and talent shows and things, I was a cheerleader. I played in the band. Teresa and I were in the band together, you know, and just my childhood. I had a happy childhood, and I always knew I wanted to become an entertainer. But, you know, through life, I met my husband, my ex-husband now, but I met him in the military.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, you know, some of my personal goals, I kind of put them on hold because, you know, I was raised where I had my mother and father in the household, and family meant a lot to me. And so, of course, we started a family. I ended up ending my enlistment. My ex-husband, he stayed in where he later retired. And of course, I supported his military career. He was in the military for 24 years, and I was married to him for 26 years. So a 26-year marriage just ended last month. So I have been, you know, working on myself. It takes a lot to get over someone that you spent that much time with. We had a life together, we had children together, but somewhere in the mix of that, I lost sight of what I wanted. I lost myself. I was in someone else's shadow, and God did not make me to be in somebody else's shadow. And I'm no longer gonna dim my light so somebody else can try to shine brighter. I'm just not gonna do it. God wants us to be happy. He wants us to be prosperous. And I just decided, once my youngest child was the end of his junior year, I decided, I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to become an actress. I'm gonna become an actress. And I decided to go to acting school. And people thought I was crazy at the age of 45 saying I want to become an actress. Like, are you crazy?
They thought, what? Not my girl. What? They must not know. They don't know the woman I know, right?
I know, right? So here I am. I'm successful. I work for the federal government. I have a good job with benefits, And they're like, you want to do what? So needless to say, I started acting school, and I had some mentors along the way. And in acting school, my teacher was Jeff Cole at Nick Conti's professional acting studio here in Atlanta. And he advised us, to start doing some background roles. So, I went on this set. I actually auditioned for one of the lead roles, but I didn't get one of those, but they had some background roles available. So I decided to do the background, and the writer-director just happened to be looking at the headshots, which had our resume on the back, and he saw that I had military and weapons experience. And he calls me over, and this is for one of the movies that I hope that you all are going to be able to see very soon. We haven't finished filming it yet because due to COVID, but it's called Power to the People. And Jabril Haynes is the writer-director, and Courtney Benson is the executive producer. And it's called Power to the People, and it's about the Black Panther Party. It's about the Black Panther Party back in the late 60s and early 70s. It tells the story of Huey P. Newton. And anyway, back to that story, the director calls me over. He said, Kim, it says here that you have military and weapons experience. And I said, I do. And he said, do you have your own weapon? And I was like, yes, I do. And he said, do you think you can disassemble your weapon in 8 seconds? I said, well, if you let me drop the pin and cheat that way, because I have artificial nails. So I said, if you just let me drop the pin and then start the time, I can do it in 6. And I was able to disassemble that weapon in 6 seconds. And I actually received a role based on some prior experience that I had from the military. So, those two went hand in hand there. So it gave me an excellent opportunity.
Yeah, that started in the beginning. I think a lot of times, like, I wanted to go back. You said a few really interesting and good points that I wanted to, like, piggyback off of.
Okay.
The military was a great start. This is where Kim met her boo, who became her husband. And I was in their wedding, y'all. Let me tell you. Okay, so we were 23?
23.
23, yeah, 23. Yeah, I ain't know nothing about going. I had never been nobody wedding. People in my family, we didn't get married. See, so let me tell you, we didn't have rehearsal. I didn't make it to rehearsal, right? We were in different states. I was in Alabama, Texas, somewhere, I don't even know. But at the rehearsal, at the thing, I walked down the alley, got on the roadside. I was like, oh my gosh. So let me tell you, small country girl, didn't know nothing, been nowhere, did nothing. But that's some comic relief in the midst of all we're about to talk about, right? But anyway, so you talked about your giving up your career and your dreams for the sake of what family, because that's what you knew. You were raised in a two-parent household. You wanted that same thing for your children. You made those sacrifices for your husband and for your family. So I want you to go back to talking a little bit about what that did to you as a woman, because you later came and you found your acting and your passion and you're pursuing it now. But all those years back, someone who's been in a marriage for 26 years, you go back now as a young person with dreams and aspirations. I know you wanted your children, but I know you also wanted something else. What was that like for you, and how did that affect you as a woman, as a person, your spirit, your morale, your conscience? Tell me about that.
Well, I can say that emotionally, it was definitely a roller coaster because I held a lot of things in, because I wanted to make everybody else happy.
Mm-hmm.
I was so bent on keeping everybody happy. And us as women, a lot of times we put ourselves on the back burner. You know, I ended up not taking care of myself. I started gaining all kinds of weight. I'm only 5'4", and I got up to the size of 230, which is, that's just too much weight for somebody that's 5'4". And I was miserable. I was depressed. I felt oppressed. A lot of times I felt like I was raising the kids on my own. Now, I cannot say that my ex-husband was a bad father, because he wasn't, and he was an excellent provider. It's just the way that he made me feel, because he wanted 3 kids. I gave him 3 kids. And unfortunately, I couldn't keep that little Coca-Cola bottle shape I had 3 C-sections, you know? And not to mention, I was a gestational diabetic, which with all 3 of them. So I gained a lot of weight. Those children were very heavy babies. And but he expected me to remain the same size I was when he met me, which let me know that he didn't love me unconditionally like I love him unconditionally. He could have gained weight, anything like that. I would have still loved him. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it caused a lot of issues in the marriage because of my weight. He said it was because of my weight. I say it was because of some of the issues we were going through. There was adultery, there was lying, you know, all kinds of stuff that goes on. And sure enough, a strong couple can get through those things. But if one person is trying to work through them and the other one is not, you'll never make it, because communication is one of the biggest things that a relationship needs. And we just didn't have that. A lot of times I would just overlook things. I would become passive, you know.
Do you feel like not having your own consistent source of income contributed to your tendency to allow him to oppress you and to allow you to feel somewhat defeated by it? Because I know as women, and not for me, like money to me brings about some degree of power and security and confidence, and it affects how we move in life. And I know for you, when Steve obviously was doing his thing, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call names, but when your ex-husband was working and earning money, I know a lot of times you were taking care of the responsibilities of your household, taking care of your children and your family, and sometimes that did not involve you making income of your own. Do you feel like that's somewhat contributed to your own degree of self-worth and how you felt about you as a woman, as a provider, as a person? What do you think?
I do. I do believe that I felt like this is why I worked so hard in the household. And I try to do everything, try to be that perfect mother, that perfect wife. And in being that perfect wife imperfect mother inside the home, I was also that outside of the home because I was a military wife. And a lot of times I was one that volunteered and was out in the public eye because of my ex-husband's position. So yes, I felt like if I didn't have him, that I wouldn't be able to live the way that I was used to living, that I was live the way I was accustomed to. I felt like I didn't want to break up the family. A lot of times I wanted to walk. I did. And at that time, I don't think I was strong enough to do it. I wanted my children to be with their father. So I sacrificed a lot in order to have it to where they would have their mother and father there in the household. And in doing so, yeah, I wasn't taking care of myself. I was overeating. I love to eat. I was overeating a lot, eating a lot of junk food, wasn't working out. I was so busy that, okay, I'm sacrificing my health because I'm so busy. I had active children. So I had boys that played every sport. I mean, and I had a daughter that was very outgoing. She was a cheerleader. She was in all these clubs and activities and things like that. So if you have a spouse that's military and they're gone all the time, or they have a position or a role where they can't be there to assist you with getting those children to all the practices, all the games, I never missed a game. Never.
You were there.
Matter of fact, I was the team mom on every team that they were in, that they were on. Everyone.
To everybody else, but didn't give to yourself.
Absolutely. Even with other children. My house was the hangout spot.
Like your parents' house where we were.
Exactly. My parents' house was the hangout spot.
Yeah. Love being at your house, playing games, always just full of love and harmony. It was just a warm space. I still think about those times. Crab boils in the backyard.
Yes.
I mean, it was always the place. I was like, dog, I wish my house was like this. This is so much fun. I mean, so I could see how growing up in that atmosphere, you would want to emulate that in your own life. And I could see how, you would, follow in those steps, and you would think you would, need to make certain sacrifices to make your household, similar to what you had, because it was such a warm space.
Yes.
One thing you mentioned about, I mean, for me, even so, for those of you, I was in a relationship for over 14 years. My last one was a long-term relationship with someone that proposed to me early out within the first year of our relationship. Planned marriage, broke it off a couple times, re-engaged, and so I'm also recently removed from, I say, the boyfriend that I got divorced from. I never got married. I always wanted what Kim is describing, per se, in some degree, that nuclear family husband. I wanted to be that wife, the boss, babe, and I wanted it all. I wanted children. I wanted my career. But I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I didn't have any children. I didn't get married because of infidelity, of lies, of broken promises. And I too dealt with weight, believe it or not, issues. And I want to kind of talk a little bit about that area, because I think that's a real situation. Our outward being is a manifestation of our inner being. I truly believe that. The way your soul and your spirit and your heart feels, you will see that in some way or another on the outside. We can go so far as to put on fronts, which I'm good at putting my makeup on, beat my face, and getting cute and smiling. But
girl, you're an actress.
But when I'm really in that moment of being depressed which I have been there, when this dude wouldn't marry me, when he was telling me all these lies and making up all these excuses and trying to make it like I was not, I needed to fix something about me, even though I'm the bad woman. Nothing I need to be fixing other than what I choose to fix, first of all. But I couldn't see that in a moment. So I kept trying to fix this and try to make me better. In the midst of it, I lost my voice. I lost my footing. I lost my desire to eat even at times. So I lost. Kim mentioned I was I was 90 something pounds when I came out of high school. So I've always been a small person. So imagine being depressed to the point that I'm even smaller than what I am now. I'm in a healthy weight now. I'm 130-ish pounds, but in stress, I barely weighed 100 pounds again. And here I am in my 40s in a barely 100-pound place because of stress, because of pain, because of disappointment, because I wanted children, because I stayed and sacrificed my dreams for the sake of, I think I felt like at some point that I wasn't good enough to be loved, or that I wasn't likable, or that I needed to be fixed. And in reality, he was the freaking screw up. So let's talk about what you went through, because I know you mentioned you were busy, but I think even bigger than that, your drive towards food was deeper than the fact that you were just busy and didn't use good eating habits. Tell me about, for me, it was stress. I literally felt like I couldn't eat. I didn't have an appetite. It was just that my stomach didn't feel hungry. So putting something in my mouth just did not feel like it was something that I needed to do. But for you, I think you're on the opposite end of things in terms of how food and stress interacted in your life. So can you talk to me about that a little bit more?
Okay. With me, I was overeating. My plate, I would have to have like a full plate. I'm talking about, we're from the country. So I would have to have a full plate with everything. And not to mention, I'm a pretty good cook. So I really like my cooking. So um, I would get in this funk like I wasn't good enough. Why am I competing with other women for my husband's attention? Why is that? If you love me, communicate that to me without being harsh. If you love me, say, Kim, I can see us, watching our grandchildren play in the front yard. But in order for us to get to that age to be able to do that, I'm going to need you to be healthier. I'm going to need us to do something healthier. So I want to help you, not, well, things will be better between us if you'll just lose weight, or either just
Trying to figure out
comparing me to some women that don't have kids, that they're single or whatever, or they're in the military, they're exercising every day. That's their job. Okay, so don't compare me to other people. So I always felt like I was being compared to everybody else. Why am I trying to compete?
Mm-hmm.
I should not have to compete.
No.
For my husband's eye, for his, I should not have to compete for that. So I kind of let myself go. I really did. And it wasn't intentionally, I don't believe, but I kind of immersed myself into my children. My children became my life then, so I kind of put everything into them. And they know that. They could tell you that today. Like, even in high school with football games and things like that, the boys would purposely look for me in the stands because they knew I was going to be there. They knew mom was going to be there. She wasn't going to miss a game. Being tired was not going to keep me away from their event. I'm going to be there, whether if I may be late, but I'm going to be there.
Right.
But like I said, a lot of times I was I was hard on myself as well.
Mm-hmm.
I saw how I had changed. If you look at some of my past pictures, you'll be like, that there is no way that can be him. You know, I looked at some of my past pictures like maybe a month or two ago, and I was in tears because I was like, why did I let myself get there?
How?
You know,
Right.
how did that happen?
Right.
And people don't even believe me when I post those pictures because they're like, that can't be you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, Kim, you're turning back the hands of time. And really, it's not. It's just that I'm taking better care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And not only physically, but spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that my relationship with God has taken away a lot of that stress. It's taken away a lot of those burdens. Because I had to lay it at the Father's feet. Because if I had not, it would have destroyed me.
Oh yeah.
It would have definitely destroyed me because there were a lot of times um, I would be in a mental space to where I believed that everything was my fault, just like you were saying. Everything was my fault.
It's funny how they can really manipulate us as women. You know, 'cause God gave men the position in our life to be the head of our households, right? We're supposed to be yoked evenly and submit to our husbands.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and I try that even in the relationships, I can get ready for that whole submission piece. But, excuse me, damn, if submitting to a fool won't lead you to a abyss. You know what that is?
Right.
Right. So if that person you are submitting to is not in line with God's principles, don't know God's word, don't know the definition of love as God says it, to
Right.
dishonor is not a part of God. Don't That's not love. He's supposed to always bring honor to you and his wife, you as his wife. And if you are going outside of this marriage, if you are comparing your wife to another woman, you are bringing dishonor to her. And you want to wonder why she's gaining weight, why she can't be the person she was before because you're antagonizing her. You're not making her situation easier, number one. First of all, she sacrificed and she following you around the world. She gave up her dreams to follow her career ambition, to raise your family, to be your wife, to be your support in the public eye and in the household. And you are bringing dishonor to her, you know? And we are feelers. So what they say to us can really mess with our heads.
Yeah.
So those thoughts now, you know who you are. You know who you were created to be. You know your mother brought you up in the church. You know what God says. But now all of a sudden, this person who is your husband, who has been put at the head of your household, has now manipulated your thoughts and your mind. And you are actually even believing, we were even believing some of that crap that they were telling us.
That
You know,
narcissist
like we,
behavior.
yeah. When I look back and think, okay, so first of all, how many lies? When did you actually start cheating? Okay, let me think back. How many times did my phone ring and somebody was on the other side that didn't have courage enough to say something to me?
Yeah.
How many times have there been something suspicious in my space that was not mine? How many times have you spoke to me in a manner that was less than what I know I deserved? How many times have you lied now about getting married
Yeah.
to this baby this lady, this boss who didn't survive years of the military, excelled to the rank of sergeant,
Mm.
went to college, got 2 degrees, became a doctor of physical therapist, own her own business, and you still think I need to do what? But I still somehow thought I needed to fix something about me. Like I was broken while you run around lying and cheating. You just trying to figure out a way to make this game work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be real. So my sisters who are on here, I'm gonna tell you, if you want to be married and this fool 2-3 years later ain't putting no ring on you and trying to set no day to walk you down no aisles, you need to think twice. Because if a man truly has good intentions, he truly wants to marry you, he's not gonna lay up in no house with you. Make no babies either, for y'all who think that's working. Put no ring on it that you wearing for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. That is not the dude that wants to marry you. He's not. So I'm here to tell you, don't let your life dreams slip away from you like I did. Y'all don't know how many nights I have cried because I wanted my own babies. My own babies. Mm-hmm. You just don't know. But I let this guy, after I waited all this time, y'all, I waited because I wanted nuclear family. I didn't want to have the child over here and, marry somebody else. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to wait. I wanted to finish my degree. I wanted to have my funds together. I was ready to be married. I had everything personally prepared for that season. And then the fool and the idiot came along and I fell for it. I just, I thank God that I finally got to a place where I could forgive myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was so much pain knowing that now I'm 48 and naturally speaking, I can't have my own children. That I have to do something extraordinary, scientific to birth my own child. To know that because I waited years for someone and let them lie to me, manipulate me, and control my thoughts to the point that I didn't even know what the truth was. Don't do that. My sisters. Even my brothers. I mean, y'all can have kids a lot longer than we can, but if she holding her feet in the ground and in quicksand and you want something that she's not giving you, you need to get the heck up out of there.
That's right.
You just do for your own mental health, your own well-being. It's hard being there, and it's hard. It can be hard being alone, but the peace of mind that I have now, being single in my own space, controlling my own moves, going when I want to go, saying no when I want to say, setting my own boundaries, doing my own thing, not going through all that commotion and the yelling and disrespect and rude and arrogance and narcissistic.
All of that. That's right. All of that.
And so finding who we are now, and that's really what I've been separated now on my own outside of relationships since September of last year. So it's about 6 months now. And I deliberately took this time to find me. 47, now 48, to find me in this season. And I tell you what, I'd be damned if another dude would come in my life and make me detour from what I know is destined for me. Won't happen again.
Oh, no.
Tell me about where you are now, and you've been separated now, divorced for just recently, where you are, your spirit, your mind, your goals.
Well, I've been separated since June, sometime in June. And the divorce was actually final in December. So it was tough. It was tough. Y'all, it was so tough. It was so bad. I'm telling you, I felt so bad. I knew I wanted the divorce. I knew I should have had a divorce a long time ago, but I was so afraid I was terrified that I almost went back. I almost went back to that. And I was like, Kim, no, you cannot go back, because if you go back, then it continues.
Why were you afraid? What were you afraid?
Girl, I was afraid because I thought that I couldn't stand on my own 2 feet. It had been a long, long time since I had done so. So financially, I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, he's the breadwinner. I'm not going to be able to live, life to what I'm accustomed to. What would my children think of me if I leave the marriage? Just all kinds of stuff, just all kinds of things went into my mind. And I'm like, why?
Were those ever things that he said to you?
Oh, well, girl, yeah. Oh, yes. I've been called stupid. Like, you're so stupid that if you wanted to go out and have your own, you would not make enough money to have your own. He's like, you don't make enough money to have your own. And I believe that. Because, girl, let me tell you something. I was letting him pay all the bills and everything. My check was going in the pot. I was getting an allowance, and I had a cool allowance. I ain't gonna lie, my allowance was good now.
Allowance, but you had a paycheck.
Right, but I had a paycheck. But I let him handle all the money. Now, this new Kim, that'll never happen.
So with him, okay, that's a whole nother thing, right? So
that's another thing.
Don't know how managing in this space, you're used to him managing all the financial needs of your household.
Right.
And so I could see how you would think, well, how could I do this? He's taking my money and his money, and that's what it's taking for us to live this way. How could it? So, I mean, it was another way of a tactic, in my opinion.
Control.
Manipulating and controlling you with your own money.
Control.
Right. And then also, too, you lose the power and you lose, I think, the know-how even, to manage. And okay, you got this amount of money and I got to pay X, Y, and Z. I got to eat. I want to do this for entertainment. I want to do this for my self-care. So you're in a season of even trying to figure out how to do all of that.
Right.
Which is very different from what you have lived for a number of years, right?
Right. So what I've been doing over these last few months, I've been focusing on loving myself. So, I do things that I want to do. I've went, as far as spiritually, I have been taking more time to read my Bible. I spend more time in prayer. That has definitely, the relationship with the Father has definitely kept me grounded, because I asked for wisdom. I have asked, I said, God, I just want peace. And that is what I've gained from this whole process. Out of everything that I have went through, I gained a sense of peace because I had a nice car. I had a brand new Mercedes. Brand new. I've always had one. I always had a Mercedes. I mean, I've always had a nice car. And I had a beautiful home. But what's the point when you're driving up to that beautiful home and you're sitting in the driveway and you're just looking at it and you don't want to go in because you feel like a prisoner in your own house? No, he didn't tell me where I could go and where I, couldn't go. But
it's how
I felt like I was walking on eggshells, because then again, yeah. So living in my home that I'm in right now, which is, it's nice home. It's nice. It's a nice home. But, things that was put in my head, like him saying that, oh, you'll never have this, you'll never have that. I have those things back. And the thing that I have that's priceless is I have peace. Because when I drive up to my driveway now, I'm happy to be home. I'm happy to walk in here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have stress and anxiety when I'm walking through the door.
Mm-hmm.
I have happiness because, you know what, this is my personal space.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's a beautiful thing. You know, to get to that place, it's like you look back and you're like, man, why did I do this so long ago?
Why did I wait so long?
What was I thinking of? But I do think, like, in the midst of all of it, you know, the bad, the stuff that made us eat and gain weight, the stuff that made maybe not eat and lose weight, the stuff that manipulated and twisted our minds into a place that we didn't believe in ourselves. We thought we didn't have that self-worth that we should have had. The doubt and the fear that was there. I feel like that is what God allows to happen so that once we really evolve and we get it, then we are a force to be reckoned with. I mean,
we definitely are. We are. We get the strength of a lion, of a lioness. We get that strength. He gives that to us. And a lot of times, God has to make us uncomfortable.
Yeah. To elevate.
He put us in situations to make us uncomfortable. Because if we were not uncomfortable, we would not move.
Yeah. Yeah.
We wouldn't move. We would just stay complacent. We would stay exactly where we are and not move. And there's no growth with that.
Exactly. And then finally he'll allow, I won't say he gives, but he will allow that finally that thing that just pushes the boulder off the cliff. And I think I've been hanging on the edge of the cliff for the longest with my paws, just trying to scratch back up and hold on. And then finally it's like, okay, that thing that says, psh.
Oh, definitely.
And you're like, oh, wow. Oh, wow. It hurts like,
yes.
I'll get out. It feels as low as I don't know what. Okay, now the dude got a child. Really? By somebody else. Knowing how much I wanted a kid. And the kid ain't no baby. So the child been around a while. And
oh, my goodness. Mm.
Oh,
well, you know, there could be a couple, you know, couple extra in my situation too.
But, you know, to go to this place of trusting what people, not what they say, but what they do. Trusting your instincts and your gut. When you feel that something is wrong, it is. And that's the thing I had to get. Okay, don't try to second guess yourself. Don't try to, you know, figure it out or whatever. If it don't feel right, you trust God and you know God. God gives us a spirit of discernment for a reason.
Right.
You got to trust that. And boo, bounce.
You got to move.
And I think as women, it's so important for us. Even if we get married, you need to have your own money. You need to have your own bank accounts. You need to have, if he getting an allowance, boo, I'm getting, my stash is going over here. Not saying, I, think that something may happen and we may not be together. No, granted, but you may die. You may leave. You may be like Wendy Williams, that got the whole another white lady over here with a whole other family. You taking my money, buying her all these, $100,000 cars and stuff. You may be doing whatever. I don't know. But I just feel like as women, we need to have some way of staying stable and staying secure. And that peace helps us keep peace of mind. So if you have to one day get up, this fool doing whatever, and get your crap and walk out, or either get him and throw his crap out, you can do that. And you can still stand on your own feet, and you don't have to be as fearful of you being able to take care of yourself, especially when you know you got the money stacked away. They try to mess with your mind, think you can't do this, can't do that. But you don't know how many dollars behind my bank account, how many zeros.
Okay.
I can write some checks with a whole lot of zeros. What's the name say?
Yeah. But that's my thing. That's what I'm working on. I'm working on getting financially, I'm doing fine. Financially, I'm doing fine. I didn't think I was going to make it, but let me tell you something. God has been providing.
Makes
I
sense.
have more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a little stash too. I add to that every month. So those are lessons that I learned,
Mm-hmm.
from being in that marriage. It was like, wow, Kim, you let somebody else have total control
Mm-hmm.
over your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even to where, you supported this person's entire military career
Mm-hmm.
and you supported everything that he wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But now he can't support what you want to do. And that was another thing, another issue. Okay, you're supposed to be my man. I supported you. Why can you not support me?
And if you're equally yoked and you are a person of God, then that's the way it's supposed to be. It's
Absolutely.
supposed to be that way. You're not supposed to be, I'm not supposed to be walking in your shadow. We're supposed to be walking hand in hand. You're supposed to lift me up. I'm supposed to lift you up. We're supposed to support, love, and nurture each other. We're not supposed to be
Absolutely.
tearing each other down. That's not love. That's not the way God desired it to be. He meant for us to be kind, to be patient, to not bring dishonor to each other, to be loyal to each other. That's what real love is. And I think as women, we have to, and that's where I am right now, starting to really meditate on what love is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's starting right here. So once I know how to treat me,
Oh,
I know what love is. I know what embodies that love. Then no man of any sort, no matter how fine he is, because the last one was fine in my opinion. That was part of the problem,
yeah,
right?
they was fine, girl. Yeah.
No, both of them, right? No matter how
Yeah,
fine they
girl.
are, if you cannot bring me less than what I deserve.
Deserve.
Period.
Okay.
Point
Period.
blank. Point blank. You can't bring it, boo. It's not about your bank account. I done had the Pradas, the Gucci's, the Movadas, all that. That, you know what? You can buy all that stuff and still be jacked up. It ain't about that. It's about true sacrificial, unconditional love. You love me if I don't have on makeup. You love me
That's
if my
right.
butt gets saggy. You gonna love me if I got dark rings around my eyes. That's what love is. Just like we do for your behind. When you go out
Exactly.
big, when the muscles turn into flab, we right there. When your Johnson don't be as good as it used to be, we
Uh-huh.
right there. So you
Still
gotta
there.
love on us the same way we love on you. And if you can't, boo, you gotta go. You just gotta
You
go.
gotta go.
You gotta go.
And girl, and my thing was, you know, this dude was acting as though Big Kim didn't have any admirers. There were men out there that was trying to holler, talk to me, this, that, and other. But they take us for granted.
Of course.
They act as though nobody else wants us. I'm like, what? Please, are you serious?
I have no idea, boo.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
And our divorce was not displayed for everybody because I didn't put it out there for everybody. People didn't even know I was going through a divorce
Mm-hmm.
because that's not something that I advertised. I was trying to keep that a little private, and so was he. But
It's not everybody's business. That's
and it's not, even though we were getting a divorce, I didn't like some of the things that were going on. He didn't like some of the things that were going on because I had gotten to a point where I could not give myself to him completely because of the things that I had gone through.
mm-hmm.
Another thing, it could have been from 10, 15, 20 years back.
Yeah.
That I never got over because I was expected to just get over it.
Right. And that's the thing is, like, healing is a process. When
Right.
you do something to hurt somebody, if you sprain your ankle, have a knee injury, healing, hurt your heart, your soul, healing is a process. And it takes certain things to allow for healing to happen. One is you can't keep doing the same thing that you did to cause that injury. So if I sprain my ankle and I keep walking down and stepping on a rock and roll it and roll it and roll it, it is going to always hurt. Just like that broken heart will hurt. If you keep going out and violating me, hurting me, breaking me down, never taking us to counseling. Stop doing what you're doing. Stop making those offensive, comments towards me. Stop comparing me to other women. Stop cheating. Stop lying. Stop manipulating. Stop trying to twist my brain into thinking that I'm not good enough. If you don't stop that crap, guess what? We are going to be oppressed. We are going to feel sick. We're not going to be able to get in the bed and do what you want us to do when you want us to do it, because we are not healed. We are broken. So, I mean, women, take time. I know we're getting close to our hour mark already, right? But take time to heal. And healing is, okay, you can't fix it if he's not doing right to fix what it is he needs to do. First of all, we don't need to be dealing with him, number one. And number two is we need to do the things to make ourselves heal from those wounds. I go to counseling. I have a counselor. I'm not afraid to say it. I say it. I sit right down. She
Me too.
I'm wherever I am. I tell her, look, I don't know why the hell I stayed with that man for 14 years. I need you to help me figure that out. Right? So I'm just serious. You need to know, like, I don't want to repeat the same behaviors. You can't do the same thing over and expect to get different results. That is called insanity. So if we want something different for our lives, we have to take different steps to achieve those things. And for me, I'm doing the mind, body, soul healing, and it's all about me right now. And I feel like when it is time, which I do want a husband, I still think God created me for that. You got to know who you were created for, your purpose in life. And I feel like I was purposed to have a husband and to be a wife. So I am going to get me ready for my Boaz, the person that God has created for me, because he's out there. All right.
Yes,
even more fabulous when he comes. So any last words, anything that you could say to your younger self or your younger sisters, what would you say?
I would just say that happiness is what you make it. Nobody else can make you happy but you. Mm-hmm. So you definitely, you may go through some ups and downs, but those downs are going to help you grow. And just don't let anybody tell you what you can't do and you can't be. And it doesn't matter what age you are. You can be whatever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do. You can pursue whatever you want to pursue. Just don't lose focus of who you are.
Exactly. Exactly. Even if it is like Miss Kim is pursuing her acting career, she started in her 40s. Even though I want children, y'all, I'm gonna adopt me some babies. Y'all can say whatever you want to say. I'm 50 with a baby on my own.
And I'm gonna be Auntie Kim.
Right. Don't, you know what? It may not come in the way we thought it would come and envision it, but don't let that be that thing that keeps you in your bed crying and depressed and feeling like you're not worthy. Figure out a way to make life what you desire and want for it to be, okay? So I encourage you all to pursue happiness, and Kim said that. First with you. Once you find love and happiness within you, you ain't looking for no man to do that, no woman if you're men on here to bring you happiness. You got it for yourself. Everything they bring you is just extra. It's flowing over.
That's right.
It's flowing over. We don't need dudes to make us happy. So like this weekend for Valentine's Day, we're going to do us up, boo. We're going to be cute. We're going to have fun, and we're doing it up. Yes. You find a way to bring yourself happiness, and you know what that's like, you know what it feels like, you know what it looks like, you know what it sounds like. And when it ain't in the room, boo, you need to get up out of that room.
Absolutely.
That is it. But I am so grateful. So glad you joined me, Kim.
Me too.
It's been fun. We'll have to do this again. This is my girl, Kim Newsom. She is an actress. Y'all got to look her up. We're looking for great things for her. All sorts of productions she's in out there. Support my girlfriend. She's at I Am Kim
Newsom.
There you go.
I Am Kim Newsom.
And
I'm keeping my name. I earned my name, girl.
That's it, girl. Yes, you did. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I am at Dr. Teresa Bristol. I'm a physical therapist, doctor. I am a small practice owner here in the greater Atlanta area. I am also publishing my children's books to bring awareness to children and families with disabilities, which will come here this summer. I am also launching a new business for those of you who want to start that business. I've been a physical therapist. I've been a small practice owner in many capacities for over 12 years now. So I'm going to help other people do that same thing. So if you want it, no matter what the idea is, haven't quite figured out what to do, I know how to make it work. I know how to establish it, number one, and I know how to create sustainability, which is really important. I live in my own house. I pay my own bills. I have my own gate. I have all that, and I work for myself. Set my own rules. Yes. So I can help you do that. DM me if you want to know more. Thanks, girlfriend. I love you.
Love you too.
Take
Bye.
care, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. You look forward to seeing us because we'll be back again.
Yes, we will.
All right. Bye-bye, y'all.
Bye.